consideration by the many members of the Japanese media who have made their way here to Buenos Aires, and of course the campaign team themselves as well. And now Madrid and Istanbul have to take stock, work out what went wrong, and importantly work out whether or not they're going to bother trying again in the future, because of course these bids are hugely expensive. A man who's covered many of these events is Duncan Mackay from the website Inside the Games, and he joins me now here just outside the hotel where the vote took place. Duncan, thanks for your time. What's the significance, would you say, of Tokyo winning?
Well, I think it's a bit of an upset actually, because they started this race as favourites. They've been favourites throughout most of the period, the 2 years it's been going on, but they came here with the spectre of Fukushima hanging over them. They didn't really deal with the issue very well until the past couple of days. So Madrid had come into today marginally favourite and ended up getting knocked out in the first round. So it's a bit of a surprise, really.
What proved decisive, that final presentation? Because we've seen these things can be so important in the past. It was a pretty slick presentation by the Japanese, and their Prime Minister took on the issue of Fukushima head on, didn't he?
I think the presentation was the best of the three, and certainly Prime Minister Abe coming here and confronting the issue head on, which they hadn't done until yesterday, and the way he was so passionate about, he guaranteed that there would be no problems if Tokyo awarded the Olympics from Fukushima and gave his personal guarantee. I think that reassured a lot of the members that were perhaps wavering, and in the end it was quite a decisive victory. They won by 24 votes, 60 to 36, which nearly matched the gap that Rio had 4 years ago. So in the end, it was if you look at it on paper, it was a comprehensive victory, but anybody that was here following it for the past week will know it was a lot closer than that.
Yeah, Madrid had all the momentum, didn't they, coming into today? They seem to have won lots of people around with their good value, low budget bid, which in a time of financial difficulty appeals to many. What cost them in the end? Was it the doping issue? Was it the recession? What proved decisive for them?
I think there were a couple of things that cost them. There was a story in one of the Spanish newspapers, El Mundo, earlier in the week, which they claimed to have 50 IOC votes, which I think upset the IOC, and certainly some of the members that were on that list that were thinking about voting for them perhaps switched. And also they got a really tough time about doping today with the Operation Porto scandal, which I don't think they were expecting, and I don't think they've dealt with the issue particularly well. I don't think the members that asked the questions were reassured by their answers.
If it hadn't been for those anti-government protests and the crackdown that followed, would Istanbul have won this, do you think? Because they were initially the favourite.
Yeah, I think Istanbul had a very good bid. It's the fifth time they've bid. It was by far and away the best of their 5 bids. They kind of lost the momentum with first the riots, and they had their own doping issues. Without that, who knows? But we're off to Tokyo, and what it does mean is that the Olympic movement is moving increasingly towards Asia, because we've got the Youth Olympics in Nanjing in 2014, we've got the Winter Olympics in Pyeongchang in 2018, and now we're going to Tokyo in 2020, which could be quite significant for Tuesday when the IOC presidential race is decided, because we have 2 Asian candidates. So that's going to be interesting, and what happened today will have a bearing on that too.
Duncan Mackay from Inside the Games, thank you, sir, for your thoughts this evening. Well, here in Buenos Aires, everyone's taking stock of that hugely important decision. It was about as important a vote has been made in recent times by the IOC when you consider that the next 2 big events that they're in charge of, the Winter Games in Sochi and the Summers in Rio in 3 years' time, are both regarded as relatively risky with problems affecting them. So they had to get this one right. They'll hope that they've done so. And as Duncan just said, there's more to come. Tomorrow, 1 of 3 sports will be added to the Olympic programme. And then on Tuesday, we'll find out which man will lead the IOC in the years to come.